Hello and welcome to No First Physics, where we come straight to the point. So let's move on to the next numerical number 6. And today's numerical is where things get really interesting. What happens when electrostatics meets with oscillations? Can electric forces actually make a particle vibrate like in simple harmonic motion? In this numerical, we are combining Coulomb's law with SHM, a powerful idea that shows how deeply connected physics concepts really are. If you understand this, you're not just solving a problem, you're unlocking a whole new way of thinking. So, let's dive in.
Here is a question on Coulomb's law which also has the application of simple harmonic motion. So we have been given two charges plus q placed to a distance apart. So this is charge plus q and this is the same identical charges placed distance 2a apart. And in the center we have a charge plus q0 which is in equilibrium. So this distance is a. So this distance is a. Q O is placed exactly at the midpoint such that it is at equilibrium. Now the question is, if QO or Q0 is displaced by a very small distance towards any one of the charge along the line joining them, show that Q0 oscillates with simple harmonic motion around its mean position and also find the time period of this oscillation. So this is an equilibrium position right now. This is its equilibrium position. If it is displaced from this equilibrium position, that means let us say we move it by a very small distance, let us say x over here. We apply a force and move it over here and then we release it. Then this will start oscillating around this mean position back and forth. So it will, from here it will go to the mean position, from the mean position over here and then back into this position, and it will start oscillating like this. So we have to prove that it is simple harmonic motion and we have to find out the time period for this oscillation. First of all, let us understand why this happens. This happens because in this position it's in equilibrium. The moment we shift it over here, we bring it closer to this plus q charge, and therefore this force increases. Now this force is repulsive in nature, so the moment we release it over here, this repulsive force will push it back, so the q0 will start moving in this direction. Because of the inertia, it will move forward. The moment it comes over here, there will be repulsive force from this charge plus q. It will push it along this line, so it will go back in this line. So because of these repulsive forces from both these charges, from both the sides, it will keep on oscillating around this position. So that's the reason why it is oscillating. Now let us say we have this position x distance apart. So what in this position, what is the force applied by this charge? So let us call this charge as 2 and this as 1, and the force applied by this is F2 and the force applied by this charge is 1. So when it is in this position at x distance, the net force acting on it is F net acting on this is equal to F2 minus F1. F2 will be larger than F1 because the charge Q0 has come closer to charge 2. So F2 is larger and F1 is smaller. Therefore, this particular force F net is acting in this direction. I will show the direction over here. This is the direction in which F2 minus F1 will be acting when it is in this position. So F2 minus F1 acts in this direction and pushes it back. So what is the magnitude of F2 minus F1? F2 minus F1 will be K. The charges involved are Q, Q0, and the distance is this distance. We'll have to look at this particular distance between the charges. This distance will be how much? A minus x. Half the distance is A, and we have to subtract x from that. So A minus x whole square minus F1. The force applied by F1 will be KQQ0 divided by the distance. As you can see over, will be A plus x. So A plus x whole square. So this force F net is acting in this direction from the right to left when the charge is in this position. Let us now calculate this F net. So F net will be equal to KQQ0 into 1 upon A minus x whole square minus 1 upon A plus x whole square. And if we simplify this, we'll get KQQ0. The LCM will be A minus x square, A plus x whole square, and in the numerator you will have A square plus 2ax plus x square and minus A square minus 2ax plus x square is equal to KQQ0. Or here you will have A minus x into a plus x whole square. And the numerator you will have is, you can see a square will get cancelled out, x square and x square will also get cancelled out. You will have 2x plus 2x, so the numerator will become 4ax. Right, so let's solve this further. So this will give me q0, numerator is 4ax, and this is a square minus x square whole x square, because we know that a minus x into a plus x is a square minus x square and whole raised to the power 2. So this is f net. Now, as said in the question, this x value is extremely small. The value of x is extremely small, so we can ignore, or we can delete, or we can ignore this x square from this equation, and therefore the equation will take a form q0 4ax divided by a raised to the power 4, and that will give me a value of 1a will get cancelled out, so it will be 4k q0 4k q0, 1a has got cancelled, so x over aq. So we have got this value of f net is equal to 4k q0 by a cube multiplied by x. Now we can attach a minus sign over here and write this as minus x. The reason we do that is because the direction of the force and the direction of this displacement are opposite. How? Let us look at it further. We displace this charge from this towards the right. So this was the displacement of the charge. When that happened, the force was acting in the opposite direction, as we said earlier. F2 minus Fn is acting in the left direction, because this charge, when it is moved over here, it comes closer to charge q plus q, the second charge that is, and therefore this force is larger, and therefore the net force acts towards the left. Therefore we can see that the direction of the displacement and the direction of the force are opposite, and therefore I can introduce a negative sign on my own over here. And from this I can see that the force acting on the charge is inversely proportional to negative of displacement, because 4k q0 a cube, these are all, this is a constant, so f net is proportional to negative of displacement, and therefore the object is performing simple harmonic motion, because the condition for simple harmonic motion is force acting on the object is negative of the displacement. So thus we have proved that this is simple harmonic motion. Now let us try to find out the time period of this. Now, as far as time period is concerned, we know that the standard formula for simple harmonic motion is f is equal to minus omega square x, where omega is the angular velocity. Comparing this equation with this equation, we can say that the value of omega square is equal to 4k q0 by a cube. And we know that omega is 2 pi by t whole square is equal to 4k q0 by a cube. And from this now I can get the value of t. So t square is equal to 4 pi square into a cube upon 4k q0, and therefore t will be equal to 2 pi square root of a cube upon 4k q0. So notice that we can find out the time period very easily, because all these are constants. So even before we displace the charge, we know the value of a, we know the value of the two charges, we know the value of k. So we can find out time period of this particle even before we have actually moved this to the right, because I know q0, I know k, and everything that is there in this equation is known to us. So I can find out the time period even before we start moving this charge q0 towards the right or towards the left. The other thing you have to keep in mind is that whether we move to the right and solve this question, or whether we move to the left and solve the question, we will still get the same answer, because it is symmetric with respect to the center. So I could have solved this even by assuming that this is moved towards the left. Thank you.
So that's how Coulomb's law can actually lead to simple harmonic motion. A beautiful example of how different areas of physics connect with each other. Now that we have built a strong foundation with electric force and numericals, it's time to move to the next big concept, the electric field strength. This will completely change how we look at forces in electrostatics, from calculating forces to visualizing fields. If you found this video helpful, do like, share and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.